Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Jill.
Can you see me? Start video.
Hi, Jill.
Hi.
Hi. I can't see myself, but that's okay. Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy New Year, right? I got vaccinated.
Yeah.
Start my video. Here we go. Can you see me now? I got vaccinated. I got vaccinated. I got vaccinated. I just turned 65 and I got vaccinated. So I took my mom and dad, who are both 91 and a half years old. I took them out to the Orange County Convention Center, and we were very excited. And we drove up to the first attendant, and she said, "Roll down your window and roll up your sleeve." And I thought she said, "Roll down your window and give us a sneeze." So there's a little discomfort, a little prick, a little pain, but I'm okay. You know, I'm okay. And sometimes I think I hear sometimes I think I'm hearing the, is that it? No? Okay. Sometimes I think I hear the phone. No, maybe not. Okay. For some people, they got a little soreness in their arm, but for me, it was a little bit different. So anyway, I'm going to get rid of this. So let me pull this out. So hold on, please. Just hold on a second. And we're back. Okay. All right. So welcome everyone to the 95th Annual Academy Awards. I'm your host, Maria Ospinskaya, and I want to start things off with a toast. Everyone, please raise your glass, raise your adult beverage. Here's
Jill, it says that the host has blocked me a video.
I don't know what to do about that.
Okay, I thought you were the host.
But anyway, I want everyone to raise your glass. And we're going to make a toast. Here's to staying positive and testing negative. Happy New Year. Woo! I always take my temperature. Like that.
Happy New Year. Is that a candy thermometer?
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's always 165 for chicken. I still don't know what that means, but anyway. So, hey, what can you say about 2020? I will tell you. We have a pandemic during a presidential election. We had the largest voter turnout in the history of the United States. The league accomplished so many things. There's too many to list, but the most outstanding thing was our Get Out the Vote campaign. So raise your glass again to that, because that was some incredible stuff right there. Woo. So let's look forward to the new year. Let's get things started. Y'all can chit chat in the chat box, whatever it is y'all want to do in there. Please feel free, type in your comments. It can be serious, it can be silly. Maybe we'll read some at the end. Take advantage of that. If you have some kind of a wish you want the league to do for 2021, maybe you can put it in there, whatever. Hey, please register now. On the league's website, well, not right now, but after the show, to the annual planning meeting on Saturday, 23rd of January. It's from 9 to 12:30, 9 in the morning to 12:30. We'll discuss all the league's priorities for 2021. You know what? You can stay in your pajamas for all I care.
Will there be breakfast?
I don't care. No, there's no breakfast.
Usually is breakfast.
You're at home. You're at home. So listen to this. Today is Thursday, January 14th, 2021, just 6 days until the next presidential inauguration on January 20th. Oh boy. So I'd like to wish the current president goodbye and good luck. And let's start things off with the top 10 list, shall we? Here are the top 10 possible locations for the Trump's presidential library. Here we go. Number 10, Moscow.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Not
Number 9, North Korea.
Could happen. Could happen. Better.
Top 10 possible location for Trump's presidential library. Number 8, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Factory.
Bury
love
him under
him
those
in
pillows.
photo, right.
Number 7, Mar-a-Lago.
Oh,
48
no.
people.
Yes,
No.
yes.
Or-
Too close to home, too
Top
close to
10
home.
possible locations for Trump's presidential library. Number 6, the Trump Tower gift shop and casino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Some of these I do for me. Number 5, Puerto Rico.
Oh, yes.
Good
It's an
idea.
island in the middle of the ocean, right there.
Yeah,
See that right there?
somewhere near
All
water
right.
level,
Number
over sea level.
4, top 10 possible location for Trump's presidential library. Number 4, in the dumpster behind the airport.
Okay,
Right
any
there.
airport.
Top 10 possible location for Trump's presidential library. Number 3, and he can't read. What is the point of this? The guy can't
In the library.
There's no library there. This is a local angle. Number 2, Altamont Springs, the eyesore on I-4.
Oh,
They're
no.
looking
Good idea.
Too close to home.
They're looking for a
Number
tenant.
number one, top 10 possible location for Trump's presidential library. Say it with me, everybody. Rikers Island.
Alcatraz.
There you go. And that
Hey,
was- Thank you so much. All right. So I would like to take just a couple of moments and acknowledge our Zoom party guests. We have the AAUW, American Association of University Women. Give us a wave. Central Florida International Black Women's Congress, also known as the CFLIBWC.
all of the
This
above.
group,
Hello,
that's not a group,
Hello.
alphabet, ladies and gentlemen. When they come to your event, get out of the way. Just get out of the way. Women lawyers of Central Florida, thank you for showing up.
Oh,
And we'd also like to please give it up for our presidents, Gloria Picard and Sandy Vidal,
Yeah.
League of Women Voters. Thank you, Sandy, for always graciously hosting our virtual events. And here are some other people who are here for the first time. Eileen and Bendover are here. Nice to see you. Eileen and Bendover.
Eileen.
Chuck Wagon. Howdy, Chuck.
Chuck
Dick
Wagon.
Hertz. Hello, Dick. Nice to see you. Bill Fold is here. Hey, Bill. How are you? Consuelo Consuelo. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Robin Banks. Don't know if you're here, but Robin Banks is
Around the
here.
lamb.
Mistake. Sorry, I don't know your first name. And Marcus Absent. Marcus Absent. This guy, he registers, but he never shows his face. Marcus. And Peter Abbott. Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit. So,
Peter Rabbit.
with all having had said that, I had a dream the other night.
What was it about?
Well, it was a dream last night. It was not my normal dream. Is that right?
Jill, this might be the part where you want to ask people to turn off their video and audio.
Okay, Clark, listen to Clark, y'all. Turn off your audio and your video.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
You can turn off the video, but
Y'all figure it out. I had a dream last night. It was not my normal dream of me flying around naked, eating pancakes. No, it was something more like watching Susan B. Anthony talking with Kamala Harris, and it went something like this.
good evening, Susan. It's so nice to meet you. This is quite an honor and a thrill for me. My name is Kamala Harris, and some people think we have a lot in common.
Hello, Kamala. I'm excited to be here, and I've got the feeling that this is going to be an eye-opening experience and fun for all of us. For starters, what year is this? And where are you?
Well, I'm in Washington, D.C. It's January 14th, 2021. I hope you're sitting down, Susan, because in 6 days, I'm about to be the first female vice president of the United States of America. I'm also the first person of color to achieve this, and I wanted to say thank you to you for making it possible for me to be here.
Oh, wow, Kamala, this is the best news I could possibly imagine. Congratulations, and I wish I were there. Now, my guess is that you are a very hard worker extremely smart, and that you broke a few rules along the way. Am I right?
Well, we do have that in common. You know, we studied you in school and we learned a lot about you, certainly about how much you worked for women's rights and the women's right to vote in particular. But I'd love to hear your story from you. Would you do that for us?
Well, Kamala, I broke every rule that didn't suit me. I charmed or tried to charm almost every reporter I ever met. I had to be smart, optimistic, funny, as well as knowledgeable and fast thinking.
That sounds very familiar.
Well, I was ultimately welcomed to the White House and even cheered in Congress. Can you believe it? My autograph was marketed as aggressively as your modern day baseball cards. Now, Kamala, if you go deep into the crypt of the US Capitol, you can see me and my dear colleagues, Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, as a marble statue. And if you have the first US dollar coin, you can carry me in your purse or pocket.
All right, then. You got me there because I'm not on any currency. Yeah.
Well, I believed that when women gained the right to vote, progress would be made on many, many fronts, like domestic violence, victimization of prostitutes, equal pay for equal work, sexual harassment, financial rights for single and married women, tobacco and alcohol abuse. How are we doing in those areas?
Oh, Susan, we're still fighting some of these, maybe even all of these to this day. So in some respects, nothing has changed, but a lot of change has happened and we've made a lot of progress. You know what I wanted to ask you? Did you have a job? What kind of work did you do?
Well, I was a teacher and I saw income inequality firsthand. As a female teacher, I was paid a salary of $1 per week, while male teachers were paid 3 or 4 times that much for the same work. Oh, don't get me started on financial inequity of women. When a woman marries, her wealth no longer is her own. All her money, all her wages, and her inheritance, it all belongs not to her, but to her husband.
I wish I could tell you differently, but no, inequality is, it's in the working and it's called gender wage gap. Women get paid 82 cents to every $1 that a white man earns, and it is significantly different depending on your race and ethnicity. And I should know, I'm African American and I'm an Asian. My mother was immigrated here from the United States and India, where she met my father, who was originally from Jamaica. So I certainly know a lot when it comes to inequality from growing up in California in the 1960s.
Oh, Kamala, that's so sad to hear. But tell me, are there any problems still with public drunkenness where you are? It was a serious problem in the 1880s. The laws of the time gave husbands complete control of the family and its finances. A drunken husband could be abusive, leave his family destitute, abandon his wife, and still claim that the children belonged to him alone. Kamala, did you know that in 1862, the Supreme Court of North Carolina denied a divorce to a woman whose husband had horsewhipped her? The Chief Justice wrote, "The law gives a husband the power to use such degree of force necessary to make the woman behave and to know her place."
I'm speechless.
But sadly, even in the temperance movement itself, women were not allowed much participation. But when I met Elizabeth Cady Stanton, it was absolutely clear to me that the better course was to fight for women's right to change the laws through the power of the vote. Elizabeth Cady Stanton and I worked together for 50 years. I had more time and strength than she did. After all, she was married and the mother of 7 children. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, And so many other women fought for women's civil rights. There was Lucretia Mott and Lucy Stone, Amelia Bloomer, Ida B. Wells, Sojourner Truth, Alice Paul, Carrie Chapman Catt. Oh, I could go on. Oh, so many. But I think what distinguishes me from so many others working for women's rights is my uncompromising insistence that no other right is more central and no other need is more pressing than the right to vote. Well, I am passionate and have concern for just marriage laws and for equal pay and for equal education for girls and women. But without suffrage, without the vote, none of these improvements would last. But with the vote, all of these improvements and other rights would flow. I guess as you can see, I am a forward thinker. Some even said I was ahead of my time.
Mhm. You mentioned marriage laws. We have come so far in that category. In 2015, same-sex couples are now allowed to marry and adopt children. This would have blown the minds of people back in your day. In addition to that, I'm married to a white Jewish man, and in your day, that couldn't have happened either. So a lot of things have really changed.
Wow, wow. I never married, but devoted my life to the cause of suffrage. I resolved to use my life, my voice, my strength to win voting rights for women. I traveled all over the country speaking, small villages, Western outposts, state capitals, major cities. Well, you know, that's how I supported myself and promoted the idea of universal suffrage. Votes for everyone. Universal suffrage is the right of all citizens to vote for all offices, no educational limitation, no property qualifications, no barriers. In modern terms, you would say votes for all. Thousands of women fought, suffered, and devoted their lives to this cause for almost 100 years before the Constitution was amended to give women, and even then it was some women, the vote.
You know, I remember learning back in school that winning the vote in 1920 was bittersweet for those of us who were Black women, since women's suffrage didn't extend in practice to 3/4 of the nation's Black women. Jim Crow laws literally disenfranchised Southern Black citizens, both male and female, until the 1965 Voting Rights Act. That was a year after I was born. Even today, voter suppression hobbles people of color as they try to exercise equal civil and political rights.
Well, I didn't live to see passage of the 19th Amendment. Almost none of us who began the movement did. We fought for your right to vote, even though we never lived to see it happen.
But when the 19th Amendment was finally introduced into Congress in 1919, it was referred to as the Susan B. Anthony Amendment. I wish you could have known that, Susan. Let me recite to you in short, to the point, what is my favorite. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex.
Oh, I love that, Kamala. And this has been so interesting talking to you. Let me wish you good luck on your inauguration next week and keep fighting the good fight.
I will.
That was some dream, wasn't it? I mean, come on. That was like a fever dream or something. I'd like to thank Susan B. Anthony for time traveling and Kamala Harris for enlightening us and sharing their time. Mind blown. As we all know, our next vice president will be Senator Kamala Harris. Some of her career highlights include, this is just some of them, serving 2 terms as the district attorney of San Francisco. She was elected as the first African-American and first woman to serve as California's Attorney General. In 2017, Kamala was sworn in as the U.S. Senator for California, the second African-American woman and first South Asian American senator in history. Wow, is there anything you can't do?
Actually, there is. There is. I'm going to say this. I work with some really beautiful, kind, brilliant people, but some of them aren't too bright.
Okay,
I can't deal with stupid.
I hear you.
Stupid questions. When someone comes up and asks something that they should know and they should have known since they were 5, I can't stand it. For instance, I'm going to give you my list, all right? I update it every day.
Bring it.
What happens if I press this big red button labeled bomb? Don't forget, I can turn off all water and electricity. I promise you, I'll keep my promise. Good thing this microphone is off. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Run like hell. Give us a kiss, cowboy. How about those there pants? What's in it for me? I don't know. Okay, here we are. Goldfish crackers, but 10 times larger.
I love it.
And number one stupid thing I've ever heard,
Yes?
instead of a voting booth, they had me line up at a portage john.
True. Oh God. It's amazing those guys walk amongst us, right, Kamala?
Hey, Jill, I'm from California.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. I've heard about this Florida man.
Yeah.
Explain it to me.
Okay, sure can, Kamala. It goes something like this. So what is a Florida man or a Florida woman? Well, it's any news story that begins with a Florida man was seen or caught doing some kind of jackassian thing that's so weird, it's so perverse, it's hard to believe it's true. And why Florida? Why not Connecticut or Wisconsin? So there are reasons for this, and tonight I'm going to tell you why. Thanks to the Sunshine Law, anyone can request public documents in Florida. So this means police records. This is how we hear about you knuckleheads out there. So as of 2014, Florida is the third most populous state in the country. California is number 1, Texas is number 2. So now we have more people, more traffic, and more times I'd like to punch someone in the face. There's a lot of chances to go skinny dipping here. You can meet a shark or a snake or a gator. It's hot all year round, so we can wear less clothes and drink more booze and get hit by lightning. So thanks to all the tourists, I'm stuck in traffic, it's thundering, and a python just took my parking space. Our first Florida man was in 1931. Carl Tanzler lived in Key West. He worked at the hospital and was obsessed with a young tuberculosis patient named Elena Milagro de Hoyos. Well, she died. And 2 years later, he dug up her body and lived with her corpse at his home for 7 years until he was caught in 1940. I mean, just Google it. It's too freaking weird to talk about. A Florida man removes his facial gang tattoos with a welding grinder. Well, of course he did. This guy here, Eric from Clearwater, bought gauze and hydrogen peroxide, 3 6-packs and a bottle of rum. He asked his friend Brian to do it because Brian was, after all, a certified welder. And sorry, ladies, he's taken. This Florida woman got to keep her 6-foot clothes-wearing, motorbike riding gator named Rambo. She was told her gator would have to be moved to a larger property or surrendered to authorities. He's like my son. He's my family. He's never been normal. And neither are you, girlfriend. A Florida man was found dead and naked lying across the back of a killer whale at SeaWorld Orlando. Some said this animal is demented, keeping them in a small concrete boxes and making them do stupid animal tricks. It makes them angry and dangerous. And you know what? I say, hey, what about the killer whales? Okay, now here's some good news. Let's change gears. I'm going to tell you about some good things that will make you proud to be from Florida. Public defenders, listen up. You know that part of the Miranda rights where they say, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. You can thank this guy, Clarence Earl Gideon. He was arrested in Panama City for robbing a jukebox, asked the judge to appoint him an attorney. But at the time, only people facing capital offenses could get court-appointed attorneys, and Gideon was convicted. But as luck would have it, get this, his cellmate at Rayford Prison was a corrupt ex-judge named Joseph Peel, who helped Gideon craft his appeals all the way to the US Supreme Court. The court ruled that anyone in the United States charged with a felony had a right to an attorney, setting a huge legal precedent and ultimately leading to Gideon's acquittal. This story was also made into a film called Gideon's Trumpet, starring Henry Fonda. Air conditioning. You see the really white man on the right there, that's Dr. John Gorey. And the thing on the left, I don't know, that's his invention. It's the ice making machine. I don't know if it's cubed or chipped or shaved or whatever, but it led to the invention of air conditioning and refrigeration. Dr. Gorey's invention began with an attempt to cure yellow fever during an outbreak in Apalachicola in 1841. Convinced that cold was a healer, he advocated the use of ice to cool sick rooms and reduce fever. Ice was shipped by boat from northern lakes until Gorey's successful experimentations with the rapid expansion of gases to create refrigeration. Florida honored Gorey as a notable person in Florida's history by donating the statue of John Gorey to the National Statuary Hall in the US Capitol building. Thirsty, Gatorade. In 1965, the man on the right is Dr. J. Robert Cade, a nephrologist, that's a doctor specializing in kidney care, at the University of Florida. Following a request from the Florida Gators football coach, Ray Graves, this special drink was created to help athletes by acting as a replacement for body fluids lost during physical exertion. Dr. Cade mixed water, sugar, salt, and dashes of God only knows what to invent Gatorade, of which 12 million bottles are guzzled daily by electrolyte depleted athletes, post-operative patients, and the simply thirsty. Did you know that UF has received $12 million a year in recent years from its 20% share of the trademark royalties and more than $150 million over the life of the agreement? Gatorade is owned by PepsiCo. 3, 2, 1, area code. It was first activated in the year 2000. The telephone area code 321 was assigned to Cape Canaveral and Brevard County in Florida to honor the space program. Area code 321 is the area code serving Brevard County, Florida. The code refers to the countdown sequence, which was launched many spacecraft from Cape Canaveral. It is the only area code in all of North America that is the overlay of one area code and the sole area code elsewhere. It's the area code used for SATCOM satellite phone units. So the next time someone asks you, why is Florida so weird? You can tell them why it's so wonderful. Unmute. How about that, y'all? How about it? Hey, you know, I'm always prepared if the murder hornets are coming at me right there. Okay, let me just say something about this. It was really rough last week, really rough. Do you remember where you were Tuesday, January 28th, 1986? That was the day the Challenger blew up about 35 years ago. It was a horrible, horrible moment in our history. And it really hit home for me because I saw it explode in the sky, just like so many of you. I know you're nodding your heads. Later in the week, I had a comedy show to do down in Melbourne, about 90 miles south of here on the coast. I was opening for a New York comic named Nancy Parker. She wasn't quite as depressed as I was that night, but she understood how hard things it was going to be that night, going on stage and telling jokes, especially in Melbourne, home to the Harris Corporation and all the NASA-related companies. This is going to be tough. But that night we had a packed house and there were so many people that came there. They just wanted to blow off some steam, have a few drinks, maybe laugh a little bit in spite of what had just happened a few days ago. I tell you this because this particular show was a lot like that. When we recorded these bits for tonight's show, it was last Wednesday night, the day that the Capitol was under siege and attacked. I watched it live on TV, just like a lot of you. I could not believe what I was seeing. But a few years later, in the wee hours of the morning, Congress fulfilled their duty and certified the Electoral College, and they did not let the mob win. I'd like to make a toast to that. If everyone could raise your glass. I asked Joan, would it be all right to address that event? And she said yes. So in conclusion, I'm not going to end on a sad note. Instead, I'm going to end on a high note. Thank you again for watching. If you had a good time, then you were with the League of Women Voters. And if not, well, then you just wasted an hour. Please stick around and watch the credits and our outtakes. I love you all. I can't wait to see you in person. Thank you and good night, everybody. Happy New Year.
Okay.
Okay, and just a
So-
moment, Frank, I would love for you to be back in your bedroom, so if you get a coughing fit, we won't hear you. You're,
Can you please? Oh my gosh, we're gonna put that in outtakes. And now, yeah, disappear in the votes for all. Yeah, lean all the way back into the vote. Whoa! Yeah.
It's amazing. Those guys walk amongst us, right, Kamala?
Hey, Jill, I'm from Florida.
You're from California.
Right.
Put something cool in. Yeah.
The votes for all.
Yes.
Yeah. Or how about here in my office?
No. That's way too fancy. Do it again. Say it. And you do it too, Jill.
Yeah.
Give us a kiss, cowboy. Biracial.
so my great-great-grandmother is Susan B. Anthony's first cousin. My great-great-grandmother lived in Boston, so when Susan B. Anthony would be speaking in Boston, she would go from Rochester, New York, and stay there with them.
It's around here. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm ready. I'm ready for them. I'm ready.
Okay. And action.
Good thing this microphone is off.